how is Dar es Salaam so far?
I mean, Dar es Salaam is very, very beautiful. The temperature is warm. It's basically the same kind of weather you have back in Lagos. So I mean, it basically feels like home, and you know the people are very, very nice, very welcoming, and very cultural.
Okay.
It's really a beautiful city.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you learned some little Swahili?
Yeah.
Like 2 or more words.
Mambo. Asante sana.
Okay.
Sawa.
Yeah.
Mzuri.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's great. That's great. So how does it feel like you are 23 years old right now, right?
Yeah.
Very young. And for many people, you know, this is we can say that you have accomplished a lot in a very young age. How does it feel?
I mean, it definitely feels very good because, you know, I could be doing something else, or I could easily be idle as a young person. But I think the fact that I'm young and I'm able to achieve this much success, it definitely means that if I keep on putting in as much hard work as I've been putting in, then definitely, you know, I'm going to achieve a lot more. And I mean, not just myself, but across the continent, you see that there are young talents emerging in every kind of industry: fashion, acting, music, you know, even in education. So I think it's the new trend.
Okay.
It's the new trend.
Okay. So there was a time when you had to stop music and, you know, went back to school.
Yeah.
Okay. Was it a simple decision?
It wasn't. I won't say it was a simple decision because, you know, it came at a time where my music wasn't, you know, my career wasn't really doing as well as I expected, because I'd already released a couple of songs, but, you know, the fame that any artist would envision for himself when you maybe put out like 2, 3, 4, 5 songs and, you know, more than one video, and you expect to be known to a certain level, and it just didn't come as we expected it. So around that time I got admission into the university, so I went back to school, and it was basically, you know, either you continue with music on the side or you just forget about music.
Okay.
So what I was doing was basically going to classes and going to the studio, recording. I wasn't going to events. I wasn't performing anywhere.
Okay.
I wasn't even going clubbing. So it was just school, studio, school, studio. So in 2015, that was when I recorded Condo with Pato Rankin, and my management, my label decided, okay, I think it's time. You know, you've learned a lot. You've worked on your sound, you've restructured yourself. The label has rebranded and everything. So we came back to the industry in 2015.
Okay. So have you completed your?
No, I'm in my 3rd year. I still have 1 more year to go.
Okay.
Yeah. So hopefully I round up at the time I'm supposed to round up.
It's hard, right?
Yeah. It's you know, it would be easier if I didn't have music to worry about, but trying to balance everything out, it basically takes up all my time.
Okay. So, how are Pato Rankin and Olamide important to your career?
I mean, yeah, definitely. You know, I can't take away the fact that the first song I released after my break was with Pato Rankin, and the fact that Pato Rankin was on the song played a role in itself, in the way that, you know, when you're going through your iTunes or you're going through the music blogs or you're watching YouTube and you see a video and you see Ycee, who you don't know, you might not know Ycee, but you know Pato Rankin, and you can say, okay, let me check it out because of Pato Rankin. And those that knew me before I went on break, when I came back, they were like, oh, Ycee is back. But, you know, there were a lot of people that didn't know who I was. So Pato Rankin being on the song also attracted most of his audience and his fans to listen in. And I think it was from that point that the Nigerian audience started paying attention to Ycee. And then when I released Jagaban did very, very well. I think I could say it was my first hit song, my first hit record. And Olamide basically reached out. He tweeted and said he wanted to be on the remix of the song. That if I was open to do a remix, that he was down. And I mean, this was when, you know, my team and I were basically trying to get Olamide on the remix, and he just came out of nowhere and just, you know, offered us the feature on the platter of gold. And Olamide is someone that's been very, very supportive. He's someone I look up to. He's a great leader. He's a great artist.
Okay. Yeah. So in Tanzania, Omo Alhaji is quite receiving a good, you know, airplay.
Yeah.
So what is the song about?
Well, Omo Alhaji is basically a song about I think if you listen to the song, you might wonder why I didn't name the song "Who's Your Daddy,"
Okay.
but it poses the question where take for example, you're in the club now and you see a girl or females buying drinks, buying champagne and popping bottles and just living lavish, and it's not natural for, let's say, a female that works in 9 to 5, maybe a banker or a lawyer or a doctor, to just go into the club and start spending that kind of money. So it's one of two things: either you're from a rich background or you're from a rich home, and that's when you ask who's your daddy.
Okay.
Or it could be like you have a blesser or a helper, like a sugar daddy kind of figure. So that's the other side of the question: who's your daddy?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Very good. So Nigerian music is very popular in Tanzania.
Yeah.
But we are wondering, how is Tanzanian music doing in Nigeria?
I mean, it's doing relatively well. I can say that aside Nigerian music, if you're watching TV in Lagos, for example, or one of the music stations, the music you hear, aside Nigerian music, you hear Ghanaian music, and then after Ghanaian is South African, after South African, Tanzanian, because the likes of Diamond, who's like really big all over Africa. I mean, and he's collaborated with a lot of Nigerian artists, so he's one that's very well known in Nigeria. Ali Kiba, Vanessa Amde, Navi Kenzo, their music gets played well. They get rotations on TV and the radio.
Okay, so this is the question: when you ask Nigerian artists about Tanzanian music, they can only mention Diamond, Ali Kiba, Vanessa, and a little bit of Navi Kenzo. But there are a lot of good artists in Tanzania.
Yeah.
So, what is your professional advice to these, artists that are not recognized well, like the likes of Diamond and Ali Kiba?
I mean, like I said, when I took a break and I came back, for me to get the audience of people that didn't know me, I had to work with somebody that was already known in the industry. So I think it's basically the same thing. If you're looking to break into the American market, for example, you would definitely have to work with an American artist. So, because I mean, if the Americans are like scrolling through, let's say, where they check out their music and they see a name that they don't really know, they will easily just go past it. So it's the same thing. Like, I think, other artists from all over the continent, not just Tanzania, but also Nigerian artists that are not known here as well, should also make that effort to, do more collaborations with not just artists from your country, but also artists from other parts of the country. And then it's basically a way of networking. So if you feature somebody from Nigeria, his fan base will listen to the music because they love the artist that's on the song. And, in a way, the Tanzanian people that don't know that Nigerian artist will also get to know that Nigerian artist, and it's a two-way thing.
Okay, good advice. So when should we expect your album?
Currently, I'm looking at putting out an album in 2017.
Okay.
So for now, we're working on an EP. It's titled The First Wave. It should be out sometime in September. It's going to have 8 brand new songs on it. And yeah.
And then probably the next single will be from this EP.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. So what's your last word to your fans across Africa?
I mean, to my fans everywhere, East Africa, West Africa, South Africa. I mean, it's really motivating for me, going from a young artist that basically was unknown and didn't have any fans in Nigeria, let alone Africa, to going online and you see people tweeting from South Africa saying they love your music. You see people from Tanzania, Kenya, Ghana, Nigeria. I mean, it's really motivating. It inspires me to do more and put out more good music. And without the fan base, I don't think any artist would really be popular or make it. So I basically owe my success to all my fans out there, any and everybody that's enjoying my music and supporting my music. I have maximum love for you guys.